Hey there everyone, so today we're going to talk about one of my favorite lines again. It's been a little while since I've raved on them, so it's their turn again. So back to Laibach York. Today we're going to talk about the little brother to the big boy Amsterdam I'm wearing here. So this one, of course, I've talked about in another video. I'll link it up above, but the Amsterdam is a very nice classic shape anybody can wear, but it's obviously a more bold statement piece, right? So obviously in the lime green, duh. But even in some more subtle colors, it's still got this nice thick acetate rim, a little bit larger temples, and all that's to balance the frame out. That's kind of Laibach York's thing, is ergonomically balanced frames. The little brother here, or little cousin I guess is probably more accurate, so this is the more subtle version. It's a little bit softer shape. You don't have as large of a square, a little bit thinner rim all around, not as much of a pronounced bridge, and of course the temples are thinner because they don't need as much weight on the back to balance the front. Now this is essentially one for when you want a very nice, well-made frame, of course, but you don't want something quite as bold as the Amsterdam. So it's a very similar shape. There are, of course, some minor differences here, and I'm going to switch back. I've got my signature glasses back. The blue is back, which is always a happy time. We'll talk more about that lens later because I'm excited about that. But for now, we're going to focus here. So the cool thing with these, of course, you do have that nice pronounced ridge and dip in the brow. So that gives it a little bit less, I guess, less grunt than what the Amsterdam has, where you've got almost that straight across look in these with just that very tiny dip in the middle, versus back to the Rome, you've got that little deeper, more pronounced deviation from the lens to the bridge. So, you know, that works and gives you a lot of softer appeal in this frame. And of course, it's not as chunky on the corners either. So you do get a really nice differentiation between the two. And I can't flip the camera around. Let's see if we can get them both here at the same time. So you can see they're similar enough that they pair well together, and yet different enough that they're entirely different frames. And that's kind of what I like about Laibach York in general. I'm already wearing my glasses. Dear Lord, I've been wearing one pair of glasses for too long. Now I'm back to two, soon to be three. But of course, now we'll get into this one. What I do like about these, it's the thinner acetate to begin with. As I mentioned, it's not got as thick of a rim around the front that's visible from the front, but it's also a little bit thinner frame as far as the thickness of it. So these are more of a 4mm or a 6, I can't remember, acetate base, where these are an 8 base with an addition for the nose pads, getting you up closer to about 10 all said and done. So you've got that chunkier look all around in the Amsterdam, where these, you've got that thinner look all the way around. It makes the frame a little bit lighter weight, so you know, if you are sensitive to the nose, or maybe you have allergies to deal with in springtime, this is a really good complement to keep the overall same look and feel of the Amsterdam while dialing it back just a little bit. The great thing with these I do like is you have that fully riveted hinge, which is always a nice touch on these smaller frames. So you don't have to worry about that failing over time, which is, you know, we don't like things to fail. And of course, Laibach York doesn't either. They like everything to last and hold up. And of course, on the Amsterdam, we have that larger hinge, and that is sunk down into the acetate. So you don't have to worry about that separating either. It's just a different way to get to the same end result. And that's based on the material thickness that you've got to work with. Now, back to these guys here. I do want to mention something that is a little bit different overall, and that is, again, back to that pronounced dip. You've also got a little bit more of a taper off to the edge where that Amsterdam stays straight across at the top. Now these lenses are covered in my fingerprints, and I can barely see my phone. So that's fun. Enjoy that. I'm going to walk around like a goofball. But as you can see, this one is their darker spruce color or forest or something. I can't even remember. And of course, like all the Laibach York collection, it can be made in any colorway. So there's no limitation to what you can do with it. But this is more of that casual dress pair. You know, it's not meant to make that big, bold statement. So this isn't one you would do in some sort of crazy colorway. like the confetti for the Amsterdam or lime green. You know, this is something more you want to do in that thicker acetate when you want that strong statement. Going back to the Rome, you want to keep that one more in casual colors. It's just not meant to have that punch and effect to it. And of course you can. We can make anything, even if it's something with a thin acetate and a lot of color to it, like this guy here. You can do it. It works in some situations. That one, because it's built up a little bit more in the temple area. There's a lot to get into when it comes to these colorways and what works and what doesn't. But fortunately, you have guys like me to figure that out for you. You tell me what you want, I figure it out, we have a good time. Now, that is about all I've got to say on the Rome. Of course, it is Laibach York, so an incredible polish. You can see it holds that shine all the way across, top, around, everywhere, which is great stuff. And since it is an acetate, as that ages, if it does become oxidized, usually a few years down the road, that can be repolished. Beautiful, brand new again. Now, if there's anything else you want to hear about, any points that you think I missed that you would like to know more about, let me know down in the comments. We'll get into that in another video. But for now, you guys take care, and I will catch you next time.